So all of the sudden, every one of our YouTube videos is getting copyright strikes. No idea why. So no music on this one. We will have it fixed by Monday. And it's really not that big of a deal. So it's just voices today. I'm joined by the IU guys, Grant Shouse and Mike Hutsell, to recap and react to the Indiana State game, a 73-0 win by the Hoosiers. And we also talked about a lot more, diverted a little bit to other topics since it wasn't that great of a game, and had a lot of fun doing it. Here it is, Grant Shouse and Mike Hutsell's reaction to the Hoosiers' 73-0 win over the Sycamores. Welcome, Hoosier fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report for our recap and reaction of Indiana's 73-0. It was 73-0, right, guys?
Yes.
73-0 win over Indiana State. And hey, Illinois next week.
Franklin College got another shout out in an
They
IU
did.
broadcast. Very
Nice.
excited about it.
That's what you wanted, Mike.
Exactly. Anytime that Franklin gets mentioned during an IU game, it's good news for Indiana. So we didn't spend a whole lot of time talking about the game, and it played out as to exactly why. Indiana could have scored anytime they touched the ball. The two drives they didn't score were the end of the first half and the drive where Indiana State downed it at the one, and they got uber conservative. Omar Cooper had 4 touchdowns. He probably could have had 8. Kobe Martin came in, and the fourth running back ran for over 100 yards. They hit the 300-yard plateau again. Fernando was 19 of 20. His brother missed 4 passes, so he gets to make fun of him for Thanksgiving for missing 4 passes against Indiana State. Just not a whole lot to really address from this one. Just about exactly what we thought it was going to be.
You don't want to say it was a bad start, but it actually was kind of a oh shit start. Because they had the ball inside the red zone and then they fumbled, but they fumbled forward enough to where they recovered it across the first down line and were able to get a first down, which was, huge. It set them up going into score, got them a fresh set of downs. I mean, Mike's right. We spent way too much time previewing this game.
Can I say
And
this, though? It's
yeah,
a really good sign that IU did this when they were supposed to.
I don't really care what anybody says. Old Dominion is a good Sun Belt team, and I would not be shocked if they don't beat Virginia Tech tonight. I think they will. And so all of the people bitching about that Indiana hasn't played anybody,
Hey, man, it's
just
over.
just look at Old Dominion. I mean, they beat them by 13, but Old
All that
Dominion,
shit's over, guys, and
yeah,
we're moving on to
yeah,
the Big Ten now.
exactly. So it's like, why does it matter who Indiana's played? I mean,
Hutsell had a really good point when he said you get to be 3-0. So, and now
exactly.
when they beat Illinois next week, everyone's going to see they just beat Illinois and they're 4-0, and that's all people are going to look at.
Exactly. And Mike's saying it right now. Write it down and rehearse it all week. And you're all just going to be like, well, Illinois wasn't that good. They were overrated. It's the narrative will never change about Indiana unless Indiana is actually built into a powerhouse. And right now, they are not a powerhouse yet. They are a team that's on the rise. So they're not going to be respected. And my thing that I think definitely works towards their favor is that I don't think they want to be respected. I think they want to be disrespected because it's added motivation towards success. It's added more motivation towards winning a Big Ten championship and winning a national championship, hopefully later on. The people that say Indiana hasn't played anybody or a 1-2 Clemson should be ranked ahead of Indiana, you're just not watching college football. I mean, you just don't watch it. You're basically going off of what you want to hear and just what everybody's saying on social media. Clemson's 1-2 and lost to teams that the LSU loss is excusable because that is a top 10 game. They barely scraped to beat Troy last week, and Troy is a middle tier Sun Belt team that lost to freaking Memphis today. And then they lose to Georgia Tech. Oh, well, Georgia Tech was good last year. Yeah, they were good last year. Last year. So it's all this crap of Indiana. They put up 73 and a shutout win, and they're still going to end up being ranked about, 18th this next week. They're going to be about 18th, guys.
It's an
17 or
excuse
18th.
to lose to LSU if you then don't lose to Georgia Tech. But then if you lose to Georgia Tech too, they can't be taken seriously anymore.
100%. Yeah, they cannot be taken seriously, and which is kind of crazy because I was high on Clemson coming into the year, but this is an Indiana podcast, not a Clemson podcast. But I'm just letting out my frustrations
This is
here.
how good the Indiana game was yesterday. We're talking about Georgia Tech Clemson.
Exactly, and the game just ended 20 minutes ago. So there's a lot to be said for Indiana. They did so many great things. The biggest thing for me was I was so glad to see them get uh, guys who normally do not play involved, like Charlie Becker, get him involved, Kobe Martin, get him involved, even Grant Wilson, third string quarterback who only threw, I think, one pass and went for like 5 yards. But just to have him on the field goes to show, it goes to show how good of a team you are.
And going back to the Indiana discourse that keeps going around, it used to be within the Big Ten, and now it's turning into a national thing. It's a lot better for the powers that be if Indiana sucks, because Clemson wants to stay on top of being Clemson. They don't want to have to contend with some up and coming program that's coming up out of nowhere, starting to take recruits, starting to, get national attention. It used to be Wisconsin, Iowa, all these schools were like, we got to keep Indiana bad. We got to do whatever we can. Indiana's going to suck. We need Indiana to suck. We need that win every year. Now Indiana's they're the interloper, man. They're coming to the party when they weren't necessarily expected to be there or invited.
Cignetti came in with his middle fingers up and was like, "Yeah, I'm coming to this party."
Right. I mean, they showed up in a Hawaiian shirt and cut off jean shorts when it was supposed to be a formal affair, and they're not supposed to be there, but they just keep showing up.
Yeah.
And it's pissing people off. And it absolutely, Brett McMurphy, Heather Dinich, all these people who run these X accounts that are just basically SEC shills. They can't fathom that the only two teams that Kurt Cignetti has lost to at Indiana were the two teams that played for the effing national title last year. Okay. Yes, they were a little bit one-sided games, but that's literally it. Those are the only two teams. A lot of teams lost to those two teams by a lot of points last year. So get over it. But tomorrow when the rankings come out and Alabama jumps Indiana because they beat Wisconsin, who's awful. Let's face it, they're terrible.
Yeah. Bottom tier Big Ten.
And Clemson drops all the way to 15th. We just have to expect it.
If Kurt Cignetti was the coach for your team, if he was the coach at your school, you would love this guy. I mean, absolutely love this dude. He's bringing you into national prominence. And it goes back to the thing. This is what my Purdue friends used to tell me when they had effing Zach Edey on their basketball team. I'd be going around saying, oh, Zach Edey's not that good. Zach Edey's just tall, which I knew wasn't true, but I knew it would strike a chord with these guys. And I'd be going around saying that. And they're like, well, if he was on your team, you would love him. Yeah, same effing thing here. If Kurt Cignetti was your football coach and talked the way he talked with your football team, you would love him. And it would be your thing. You would want, to keep him as your coach because he's made you nationally relevant now. I'm telling you, nothing anyone can say about Indiana football can really bring you down when you are quite literally the worst program of all time.
You're never going to get any sort of, I apologize for my schedule, when Indiana was put in the Big Ten East for all those years and had to play those four teams every year that they just and historically we're never going to beat.
25 miles east of Purdue, so
25 whole miles. Made a huge. Now Purdue fans are like, have you seen our schedule? Yeah, we played it for 15 effing years.
This is so true too. The day I saw it, I went, "Oh man, poor IU. Oh, that is brutal."
Thank God for these other Big Ten teams that have come in here now, and you get rid of the divisions. The divisions never should have existed to begin with, but like at the time when there only were 11 or 12 teams, it does make sense looking back on it, but you can't do the divisions with 18 teams now.
17. We can't count UCLA at this point.
That's true. Yeah,
You're about to
they're
get to 4 divisions.
yeah,
That's
they're
what you could
basically
do.
a bottom tier Mountain West team now.
That's gonna be a big game for Purdue, man. They might get the conference win there.
Might be a big 4-win season, guys, in West Lafayette.
They almost tripled their win total, or they tripled their win total.
Yeah, they play
Quadruple.
Northwestern too. Anyway, Illinois, guys.
Looking
Top
forward to
10,
watching them tonight. I'll say that I will be definitely dialed into them tonight. I did see this today, is that according to power rankings from, I guess, the experts or whatever, I don't know, depends on how you look at it, Illinois has the 17th best offensive line in the Big Ten. The 17th best. You know who has the second best offensive line in the Big Ten is Indiana, just behind Iowa. And Indiana last night was without Khalil Benson for the first half of the game due to violation of team rules. Now, whether that means he was, out at the big red liquors when he shouldn't have been, maybe has something to do with it. I have no idea. Maybe he was like Umar Ballo and hanging out at the upstairs pub the night before the game.
Hey, man, if I was in my 20s, I'd have a hard time leaving the upstairs pub based on what I've seen from that place these days.
I've never been in there, but man, the day I am, it's good. You're gonna have to maybe call the National Guard to come get me out.
Once again, this is how good the Indiana State game was yesterday. We are talking about the upstairs pub now.
I'll go back to one thing, and I don't know how closely you got a chance to watch it, Graham, because I know you were rewatching it today. There were 3 oh shit moments from that game, and I think one of them is going to be a really oh shit moment. First drive of the game, no targeting called, because I don't know the last time Indiana actually had a targeting called in their favor, but Elijah Surratt takes a helmet-to-helmet, leaves the field. I figured concussion immediately. He was squinting coming off the field.
That freaked me out.
He did come back and play. Briefly, Omar Cooper left the game. Didn't really see what happened to him, but he was there was a hitch in his gait. I was afraid maybe an ankle, a knee, something. And then it looks like realistically, Lee Beebe Jr., probably maybe the best running back they had, at least the second best running back they have, probably out for the year. Non-contact injury, went off the field with his knee. Sig didn't say a whole lot about it afterwards. He just said non-contact, and that's usually not a good sign. So you gotta bring those 3 things up, because it wasn't all just roses last night.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't clean. I know they put up 73 points, but the fact you were able to take your starters out and not play them really much at all in the second half, other than your main 3 backs. And that's why I'm not too concerned about Lee Beebe being out potentially for the rest of the year, at least not right now, is because they still have 2 running backs in there that are really freaking good. And then you factor in what Kobe Martin came in and showed what he could do in garbage time, up by 40, up by 60 last night. And he can probably, hopefully, step into that third back role that BB was in if he's out for an extended period of time. And to go back to your point with the targeting call, oh my God, like it was targeting. I was watching it on my phone, and my color partner, Kevin Helfrich, who may or may not be listening to this, I have no idea. I'm going to call him out here. He goes, oh, that's not targeting. That's not targeting. Oh, he got him in the chest. He got him in the chest. Dude, you don't hit someone that hard leaning your helmet down with the crown of your helmet and he's a defenseless receiver. That is the textbook definition of targeting. He hit him in the head with his helmet while Surratt was a defenseless receiver, or was a defenseless player. And
if you said that, Kevin Helfrich, you are wrong.
It was wrong, and he should have been thrown out of the game. And I was really concerned, and Surratt really did not get that much involved afterwards, but the fact he was able to come out on the field after going into the medical tent is a good sign, good of enough sign to not be worried about it now. But it was kind of a heart-stopping moment there, because it's hard to play a game against a team like Indiana State and you have some things happen to you, some kind of minor setbacks, when you know what's ahead of you the next week. And then you have some I guess I wouldn't say minor, but some interesting things happen to you that you don't necessarily expect or want to happen. And now it sends you in kind of almost a panic mode when Surratt gets his bell rung and you're like, oh shit, he's got a concussion. Or when BB goes down, you're like, oh shit, he's going to be done for an extended period of time. And it's unfortunate to have those things happen when you know what's coming next week. So there's a lot that they're going to have to prep and get ready for. I heard he gave his staff the day off today. But man, if I'm on that staff and if I'm him, hell no, you can't take today off. I mean, but they're still working today and they're still working on Illinois. And I wouldn't be shocked if they don't all get together and watch the Illinois Western Michigan game tonight, which, by the way, who the hell has Illinois played? They played Duke.
Duke. The eighth best team in the fourth best Power Four conference.
Yeah. Or, well, the fourth best, or maybe one of the worst in the 3.5 power.
But that's why you should at least be playing Virginia or somebody like that, guys. Come on.
I agree 100% with you, Greg.
Cool. I do have one thing that I want to add to the IU Indiana State conversation, but I do want to mention that speaking of the Missouri Valley Football Conference, Illinois State is up 14-7 on Eastern Illinois after the first quarter, and Winkers Wright did score a touchdown. So I know everybody wanted to know on the IU report how Winkers Wright's doing. All right,
I did want us to talk Illinois State football report.
That's right, we need one.
So we've shouted. I mean, the Indiana State game at this point was so memorable that we've called out Grant's color commentary partner, and shouted out Illinois State football and the post game podcast. I have to throw something in here. Henryville Junior High football with a big win on Thursday night. I'm just saying.
Nice. Go Hornets.
Let's
go Hornets. That's right.
Any stars on that team, Mike?
A few.
Anybody you saw?
Avery Hutsell getting a target in the end zone. Just a horrible pass by the quarterback. I mean, come on.
Too
Liam,
bad.
Got to do better, Liam.
We're calling out Henryville middle school quarterbacks.
Love all the Hornet players, Liam. I'm just giving you a hard time. I know you're not listening to this. So.
Okay. The thing I wanted to contribute is Coach Signetti said even in the fourth quarter, he didn't see a single person on the sideline letting up mentally, and that's a good sign.
Yeah, absolutely. And he never lets up mentally. And they said it on the broadcast last night, and I've always thought this. If you just looked at him during the game and you didn't know what the score was, you would never think Indiana was ahead. Ever. You would never think they're ahead just by the way he walks around and he acts, which is the mentality you need. It is night and day. I mean, I don't want to compare him to the old coach, but I'm using this as reference, is that the old coach, after a 73-0 win, which was never happening, by the way, Indiana State would have scored at least 7 under previous coaches, not just Tom Allen, but probably other previous coaches at Indiana. He'd be in the locker room crowd surfing and up there singing the fight song and everything. And I'm glad we've gone away from that mentality. And and you guys maybe see it. I don't know. I think I posted on Facebook after every game. I know I posted on my Snapchat story after every game, but you guys aren't looking at that. Is that every time they win and the record improves, yesterday is 3-0, but never satisfied or not satisfied. So you can never be satisfied as Indiana football. You can only be satisfied as if you win the national championship. That's the time to be satisfied. So
that's when you crowd surf.
That's when you crowd surf, and that's when you maybe just take the foot off the gas a little bit. But the foot constantly's got to be on the gas, and it goes back to the signature term that my high school football team had. I didn't play, but my high school football team had this motto: was all gas, no brakes.
Is SIG the closest thing in college football to demeanor and expectation of excellence that's left since Saban retired?
That's a great question.
He has such high standards. I mean, there was a play last night. Fernando's 11 of 11. Hadn't come close to throwing an incompletion. They're in the red zone. He should have handed the ball off to Keelan Black he probably would have walked in for a score, but he pulled it on the read and ran out and only gained like 4. Sig calls timeout. And you would have thought that he just threw an interception in the end zone with in the fourth quarter with no time on the clock. The way he reacted to that, and that is just him. He wants, and every interview he did at halftime and after the game, he mentioned a false start penalty that made them go from going forward on fourth down to kicking a field goal on fourth down. He's that wired to be like, we have to be better. They just won 73-0, and he's hung up about a second quarter false start penalty that probably kept him up last night. You don't see that a lot with this era of coaches. You get a lot of the rah-rah, we just beat Akron in 4 overtimes, let's sing the fight song and crowd surf types. I think that's just the way Signetti is. That just demand for like precision is the difference between them. Every play has to be perfect, and there's not a lot of guys wired that way anymore.
And that's what puts him on another tier from these other coaches. Nobody else will win that.
There's going to be people now saying, "Oh, they're comparing him to Nick Saban." We're not.
No, we are not.
Saban's the greatest college football coach of all time. 7 national titles. Okay.
Nobody will ever come close.
There's no other Nick Saban, okay? We're talking about demeanor and precision for, demand for excellence.
I bet they'd get along well.
I bet they would too. And Sig, at one point, was he not on a staff with
he was the
Saban?
wide receivers coach and the recruiting coordinator at Alabama with him.
He clearly learned a lot.
No question. That's where it came from. And he said it on game day last year when Saban was there. He's like, well, now I know why I was getting my ass ripped and we were up 40 in the fourth quarter on the sideline by the head coach. Because you can never let up. You can never be, you can't be satisfied until the job's finished. Yeah.
Hey guys, on two screens I have, of course, Illinois State and Eastern Illinois. I also have Ball State and New Hampshire. Apparently a lot of bad blood between Ball State and New Hampshire.
I've been keeping an eye on that one, and I've seen it's been a little chippy.
It's been a lot chippy.
Chirp, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of chirping. A couple of really dirty hits led to some.
You got the backyard brawl right now. You got Georgia, Tennessee. You got all these games on, and you're giving me a live update of New Hampshire, Ball State.
I'm an Indiana guy, Mike. If it doesn't happen in Indiana, I don't care.
Did not expect that. What about Purdue? Oh, wait, that's a delay. You're right. Sorry.
It's under delay. Otherwise, that would be the other one on the screen.
Hey, here's an update for you is that I don't know how much this will really matter for next week. I'm not so sure Indiana may be getting one of the premier pregame shows in the country next week. Maybe, the stupid little Big Ten tailgate with DiNardo and them are going to come rolling in. But Big Noon Kickoff has already promoted that they will be in Utah.
Yes.
Texas Tech.
Big Noon headed out there to Utah for Texas Tech, Utah, which will be 9 a.m. out there? Or is it 10? I don't.
10.
Time zones
yeah.
always. Yeah.
Roll out of bed and
those wild Mormon tailgates.
So what's the thought on game day?
I think what Grant said is probably right. I'm expecting the SEC game, and with NBC carrying the night game, I just don't know that the game day is gonna make that trip. Although I think McAfee's gonna do everything he can to make it happen.
It's one of those things where it's kind of the trade-off where, yeah, you may not get to host the game day game, but you're still going to get a primetime slot on a major network.
Absolutely. And it'll be what the focus of the country will be on IU, Illinois.
Yep. And the whole bit, of course, the whole Big Ten conference.
I can't believe I just said that, Hutsell.
It's a new world, man.
Thanks to Mike and Grant. Once again, we will get the whatever the issue is at YouTube fixed. Probably a solution is to have music on the podcasts that aren't on YouTube, on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon, and maybe just not even have any on YouTube. I don't know. We'll get it figured out, though, by next week at the very latest. Thank you so much to Mike and Grant for joining us, and to you for listening. Do us a huge favor and share this podcast with an IU fan in your life, and help spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is here talking about Central Indiana sports every single day. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie. Thanks, everyone.